Hey guys, it's Alie with Paper Beats Rock Designs, and I'm back with another memory planning video. And today I am using the Stamp Society stamp from July. Now I know that most of us probably don't even have them in our hands right now, but I printed out the digital because I want to use it right now. So I'm really working off that like mood board, all those inks I was showing you earlier. A lot of my pictures have greens and purples in them. So the Here We Go arrow is from the May Stop the Blur kit. The little green tag with a little pink circle on there is from the April Stop the Blur kit. It's kind of hard to see, but the tag is tucked into a little acetate little tag tuck that's from the February Stop the Blur kit. The little envelope on the 15th is from December. Now, like I said, I printed these guys out and I kind of just guessed about how big they were in the stamp set. And I am showing y'all all of my mistakes here. So, first of all, this was a win. I need to stamp out the word freshman. I did stamp it wrong, but I figured, I felt like it was going to be a lot smaller than what was mapped out there. And when it was stamped all together, it was so much smaller. So I knew it was going to fit. I paid really good attention, made sure that I didn't misspell it this time, and it came out super good. I love it. It came out awesome. Now, the next word, year. My peeled paint and my cracked pistachio are like the juiciest ink pads I have ever bought. I bought them years ago and they are still like over inked. So I'm trying so hard to mix them together and make pretty letters. So I keep like stamping and off stamping and really trying, and they're all getting really messed up. But I had an A that came out really good, so I just cut that sucker out. I'm gonna glue it on top, good enough. And then for the E, I came back with a gel pen, a white gel pen, and just kind of filled the E in better. And you can see it better now, and I have some nice gradients of ink. So these stamps are from some classic Heidi's, and again, I don't know why I tried. It came out so good on this side. Look at Wake Up and Be Awesome. Ooh, okay, so let me add some more ink. Way too much. So I might go around that with like a thin black pen to kind of outline those letters, because they do get lost. But now I'm adding some icons. These stamps are just, I got them from an Etsy seller a few years ago, just some from my stash. But there's some fun school type icons. So I stamped those. I did some in Hickory Smoke, but I come back in the black because they get lost. I do a lot of like pre-stamping and like trying out on the other newspapers. So I came in with a texture stamp from my stash, and then came back with the texture stamp from Heidi a couple months ago. The Hard Work and Wake Up and Be Awesome are from an older September agenda stamp. And now I pulled off the washi that I covered up the hands with, and I'm going back to that die cut and doing some stamping again with another texture stamp. And I cut it so it's got even more texture, and I come through and kind of rough it up and ink it up, because now that I have that newspaper down, everything else looks super clean, like too clean. So I popped down my Here We Go, and I pulled out the arrow because I knew that like eventually I was gonna accidentally glue something on top of it. So gluing down my pictures. Just a picture of a little praying mantis and Landon playing with the praying mantis after school on his first day. I can't believe this is from last year, so he's actually gonna be a sophomore next week, and I'm dying. Anyway, so I added another little purple tag in there to do some more journaling on. I thought about covering up the pink because there's not really any pink in this, but ultimately I just kept it, and I rough up the acetate with some sandpaper, like a sanding block too. I didn't have any purple string, but I do have a huge roll of white string, so I just grab all alcohol markers and color that to whatever color I need when I don't have it in my stash. So I've tied those little tags together, adding some washi to these pictures over here because I realized I didn't pull out any washi yet. So this one's got some blues and greens in it. I felt like it was nice and masculine to kind of offset the pops of purple in there. And I have this little skinny, tiny purple washi that I'm gonna try to put around too. I've got a couple more washis from like Michael's, I think, that I sprinkle around. This currently piece is actually an old Fancy Pants die cut, and so is the other one that says like on the agenda that I'll use later. I keep trying to use this envelope and I'm like, man, it's just not working. Then I realized, I just want more green. So I flip it inside out, and now I have all the pattern on the outside. Looks so much better to me. And I tested on the back first to see if I like the texture stamp first. And I come through with some seedless preserves and some villainous potion. And then this little like mail stamp is from the November Stamp Society stamp set. And I think it adds just like a perfect little mail-y touch. Even though, to be honest, this picture wasn't about mail or anything like that. I just think it goes with the envelope feel. Adding a little bit more washi. I cut it down so it tucked underneath there a little bit better. That little Bloom Your Heart Out stamp that's on the tag over there, the label over there, is from Alie Edwards. Finally getting able to use this donut washi. I got this at Daiso a few years ago. They have amazing washis over there. If you have a Daiso in your area, check it out. It's a great store. This sweetness stamp is from Michael's from probably 10, 15 years ago. Now I'm layering up a bunch of Alie stamps. The donut is actually from my stash, but the Life is Better with Fresh Baked, it actually said cookies, and I just wiped that off. That is from a November agenda stamp. And then I stamp out donuts, and the N and the U are exactly the same, so I just use one of them, I don't even know which one, and then use the ghost stamping on it. This Rise and Shine is from an old Gossamer Blue stamp set, and the Always Worth It is back on that September agenda. The Sweet is from a really old Heidi set, and the Memory is, I think, Alie Edwards. Gimme Sugars from either Heartthrob or Punny Valentine. There's lots of good little sayings in there. So I always make sure to look through all of my stamp sets. I know it kind of takes forever, but it makes for such fun layered pieces. I glue down that little note card in vellum over there, and then this is just a Happy Planner or We Are Memory Keepers journaling card. And this little flip flap piece, I believe, comes from the March Stop the Blur kit. Now I should have waited before I glued it down because I end up doing some stamping on there, but it works out. It wasn't too hard. I rough up the pictures there, and then I was like, you know what? It needs to be roughed up too. So I grabbed my sanding block and did my best to go over all the edges there. Again, this would have been so much easier if I hadn't glued it down to my page yet. But it really wasn't that difficult. And then after I've got my pictures glued down, I come in with a texture stamp from the February Stamp Society stamp. It goes around the billboard image, but it makes for just good texture on everything. And that hash stamp is also from the February Stamp Society stamp. Now this stamp set is from Everyday Explorers. It's all about tarot cards and moon phases and witchy stuff. So I stamped that down with Victorian Velvet and Hickory Smoke, and it looks so perfect. It looks just like the night sky. More stamps from Everyday Explorers. They were talking about Halloween decorations hitting stores, and I was like, yeah, that's the way it should be. So I stamped that on the little tab there. I think it came out so perfect. Perfect little fit. And then I could do this all day. It's hard to see, but it's a picture of my dog sitting in our in Luna's like baby pool. Now, to kind of fill in, I didn't want to pop in too many words after this, so I grabbed an old Heidi star stamp and then used that to sprinkle around pretty much all the inks I was using all over the page. Add in some more washi because why not? And then I'm looking at this side and I'm like, this little arrow's a little too clean. So I roughed that guy up a little bit. Add in some more stars around the page. I do feel like the right hand side is a little missing because there's a lot going on the left hand side, but once I have all my journaling and stuff like that down, it won't look so empty. So this is my spread all done. I think it came out awesome. I love the way that newspaper came out, and I love the way this little tag tuck came out. So much little stamping on that tag up there, and I love the donut. She's so happy with her donut in that picture. And I mean, who wouldn't be happy with a donut in their hand? Again, I love the way the blending went with that ink up there. Looks so good. And this little flip flap is going to be so much fun to fill in and journal on. I'll try to put a list of supplies down in the description box below, but if you guys have any questions, pop them in the comments. Have an awesome day. Later.